All right, Shalom. Before I begin this lesson, I want to give all honor, praise, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakah, Kudash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles that I learned from. You already know who they are. And Shalom to you brothers on highways and hedges, teaching hope for the elect, feeding the sheep of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, giving up your bodies as a living sacrifice. Shalom. And Shalom to you, Akwaf, in order, meaning you Israelite sisters that are doing what you're supposed to be doing in these end times, to be a righteous and virtuous woman. You know, Proverbs 31 type woman. All right, Shalom. Shalom to you, Israelites scattered abroad. It may look like these other nations. You may look like a so-called white man, Chinese man, or whatever other races out there. But if your seed line goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, you are indeed a Hebrew Israelite. And, you know, this truth is for you also, all right? Regardless what you may appear to look like, you are indeed a Hebrew Israelite if this truth resonates with your spirit, and you're not offended, and you keep the laws and the ways of Yahweh Shem Yahushai to the best of your ability. You know, Shalom. Right. This lesson today, you know, I actually was trying to do it last night, but as I was putting everything together, you know, it was really late and I was just tired, man. And I wasn't in the right mind to do it. So, you know, I waited since everything's pretty much set up how I want it. I thought I'd wait till today to do it right, you know, with a clear head. So Lord willing, this lesson is edifying and it goes well. And it's, you know, you find this lesson very informational. But basically, I'm going to go into how, you know, right now, you got so-called white man, other words known in the Bible as the nation of Esau, Edom. They're ruling the world in wickedness, as we know. Look at the condition of the world. You can see that, you know, it's not you lower level people that are totally responsible for the condition of this world. You got to go to the manager. Who's the manager of this world? It's the so-called white man. He has his supremacy spread throughout the four corners of this world, man. And these people are exalted. The Bible speaks about this. The Bible has nothing good to say about so-called white man, in other words, known as the nation of Edom. You know what I mean? And a lot of people might call this hate speech, racism, but it is just what the Bible says. And, you know, we got to speak the truth, regardless of how offensive it is. You know what I mean? So, you know, I'm just going to bring it out, man, let you see a couple clips. You know, I've got a couple things I want to show you, and Lord willing, you're edified. I'm going to bring out some precepts that go hand in hand with the clips and the things I'm going to show you, all right? Because the people ruling this earth right now, get rid of these cockroaches real quick, man. Right, so lucky for that. I got cockroaches trying to interrupt the lesson. You know, I ain't even living in America, man. I don't know what this clown is talking about. You know what I mean? Right. Let me see here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to show you a clip or two, and then we'll go from there. Let's go to this first, actually. Let me see. All right.
Why does France have a reputation for being so stinky? Once upon a time in the Middle Ages, the French did have bathhouses, but then the church was like, no, these are dens of sin. So bathing, absolutely not. By the 1800s, people in Paris averaged only one bath a year, and that's if you were feeling fancy. They thought it was an unnecessary task. Also, what are bathrooms? We pee and poop right next to our beds. They also thought bathing could open their pores too much, which would let in disease. They still wanted to look clean though. So instead of bathing, the French upper class just doused themselves in perfume and powdered their lice-ridden wigs. In the countryside, very not good. Even worse, giant caca piles everywhere. Caca piles were kept close to the home because the caca was used as farming fertilizer. They also kept barns inside their homes, but closed their windows at night because fresh air was considered dangerous. Then American soldiers came during World War I and World War II, and they were like, wait a minute, you guys don't bathe? Because we literally shower every day. So the soldiers wrote back home complaining about the smell, and suddenly it was breaking news. By the 1950s, 1950s, only 6% of French homes had bathrooms, and 65% of American homes had bathrooms. So it wasn't personal, it's just some unfortunate plumbing history. But look at them now. They are world leaders in perfume. Full circle.
So, they claim to be so noble and civilized, and speaking about how they civilize the world and all this crap, right? Which is all nonsense, man. These people have always been the vilest of all nations out of every race in the earth, man. But, you see in that video, there's nothing glorious about their history, and they like to try and hide that from you. Okay, because their history is shameful. There's nothing good about their history, man. They claim they civilized the world and this and that, but these people wouldn't be nothing if it wasn't for the fact that they raped, robbed, and stole basically the resources of Africa and other places that have minerals, natural resources, man. Because, they came from the bottomless pit, which is in Europe, that don't have no damn resources. So, it's the people they love to hate. They call brown people, well, they call black people, but these brown colored races are the ones that made them wealthy, man. And it was the Moors that had to civilize them during what they call the Dark Ages, man. These people rose into power after they came out the bottomless pit because they were nothing before that. You know what I mean? Let's go to a preset real quick. This is the hold on one sec. Let me share my screen. I forgot. So lucky, I always do that. Right. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 12 and verse 8. It says, "The wicked walk on every side when the vilest men are exalted." And that's, where I got the title of this lesson from, man, because the vilest men in this earth are exalted, man. If you look at them closely, you can see they ain't right. These people look like cave people, which is their history. They were the original cavemen. And we're going to get into that later on in this lesson because I've got a bunch of scriptures and things I want to bring out. But I'm going to show you some things in this lesson that's going to show you that these people have nothing to be proud about. I mean, they walk around this world like there's something special, like they're the Lord's gift to this world, like they civilized and made everything great, right? But they don't understand that the people that they try to demonize and call out, say we were living in mud huts and this and that, were the very people that civilized them, man, and made them so-called great, right? So it says the wicked walk on every side, meaning they're freely walking around, you know what I mean, prancing around like everywhere you go. You can't go without seeing an Edomite, you know what I mean? They colonize everywhere they go, Scriptures speak about how the wicked have spread themselves like a green bay tree, roughly paraphrasing, right? So the wicked walk on every side when the vilest men are exalted. You know what I mean? They just walk around freely when they're held to a high regard. They have their so-called white supremacy and everybody thinks that there's something special, man. So they just roam around freely. You know what I mean? When back in the days, we chased them to the caves, man. Let's go to, I want to go to the blue letter real quick concerning this precept. And this is the NIV, as you see right here. Let's read what it says in the NIV. It says, "Who freely strut about," that's the wicked, right? "When what is vile is honored by the human race." See? So these people are vile, but they're honored by humanity, man. And they strut about freely, basically, right? Because, they're exalted in this world as something special. But I'm going to bring it out and show you that these people are not as special as you may think they are, right? Let's, bear with me. This lesson might be a little all over the place. It's live and I'm just flowing through the spirit, kind of. Let's bring out this one here because this is some information I'm going to bring out a lot of information that even I didn't know. More and more truth is coming out about these people every day as we go along, man. As we draw closer to the end, right? So check this video out.
Why were the Tudors kind of ugly? The main fashion crime was definitely the black tooth trend. Sugar was expensive, so nobles went absolutely ham on this, and they would brush their teeth with sugar paste and just eat it all the time. And because Elizabeth had blackened teeth from all the sugar, it became a fashion trend. If sugar was only available to the wealthy, people would find ways to blacken their teeth to be included in this sugar-eating fad. They also lived, laughed, loved belladonna and would put it in their eyes, so it would try and make them sparkle, but you would also kind of go blind, so yeah. During this time, they also loved a big fat Humpty Dumpty head. They'd pluck and shave their foreheads to achieve this vibe. Like, someone cut this girl a fringe because her forehead is just horrific. I'm guessing it was on trend to keep it in the family. And that's all I have to say on this one. Pale complexions were a sign of wealth, as it meant you didn't have to labour in the sun, and people would exaggerate that by using a white foundation made up of vinegar and lead. There were also concoctions that would bleach your freckles by using mercury. They really did shoot themselves in the foot with this one. And as these toxic ingredients stuck to the toll, it led the skin to become grey, dishevelled, like as you imagine it would if you put mercury on it every day of your life. And to combat this, they would glaze their skin with a raw egg, and they'd be like, yes, perf. You would just feel sticky, but okay. Everyone wanted to be a ginge at this point because the queen was. So people would use recipes to dye their hair or get a red curly wig just so they could look like Miss Queen Elizabeth. They were so obsessed with being pale that they would draw.
It goes on, but I wish I had the end of that clip. I don't. For some reason, it cut off. That was the end of it. But yeah, man, nothing to be proud of. You know, why ain't we learning this type of stuff in school, man? In the public education system, of course they're gonna, teach you things to make themselves seem like they're something special, that they're glorious. Everyone knows about the hollow fraud. They teach that in the high school curriculum, and they ram that down your damn throat because they want you to feel like they're, the people of the Lord. They were oppressed. This, atrocities happened to them. They must be the people of the Lord. Da 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 da. Which is all bull crap. All right, it's all coming out in these end days. This girl right here. She's more than likely, judging by appearance, but we don't know according to appearance, but more than likely, because most of them are, she's more than likely an Edomite herself. I ain't gonna say she ain't that pretty. She's quite pretty, but got a lot of makeup on. But they all start, they normally start off pretty when they're younger, but they age like spoiled milk, man. And then they start looking terrible as they reach like their 30s. But let me play another clip. Bear with me. It's another one by the same girl right here.
Victorians loved calling people savages and then going home and scranning on a mummy finger. From the 12th century, ground up mummy was better than cheesy chips after a night out because it could cure everything. Worried about the plague? Don't even bother with.
Hey, Salakia, I don't know what's up with the volume on this one, so you have to forgive me. I'm gonna run it back, but you might want to turn the volume up for this particular clip.
Victorians loved calling people savages and then going home and scranning on a mummy finger. From the 12th century, ground up mummy was better than cheesy chips after a night out because it could cure everything. Worried about the plague? Don't even bother with hand gel, just eat someone's dead nan. And the demand was so high in the 1500s that people would just wrap up dead peasants. Charles II would eat crushed up skulls after having a seizure and still didn't see the correlation between illness, shagging every fucker, and drinking like a fish. And the Victorians were like, these mummies will be proper chuffed to know that we're just unwrapping them because we've not got telly yet, so there's not really much else to do. So if you weren't unwrapping them at a private dinner party, you could go to a public medical event and just watch it happen there. And the 18th century equivalent of going to Zante with the girlies is going to Egypt, picking a mummy off the street and taking it home mid. And then they were like, if you didn't already know we were colonizers, we're going to make you know again because we're going to put crushed up mummies in paint and paint it fucking everywhere. In the houses, in paintings, you name it. And even until 1909, physicians were still using human skulls to treat conditions.
Damn. Now, who knew that? You know what I mean? This is what they try to hide, man. I mean, I heard that they were eating mummies, but damn, they were crushing them up and using them as paint. to paint their damn walls, man. That is just nuts. Hey, shalom to my bro. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai Barakatah. Lord willing, you're doing good. But yeah, man. So these people, you know what I mean, crushing up mummies to use it as paint. Come on, man. Like, but they claim that they're the most inventive, creative people. That's just disgusting. Why would you use a dead corpse as paint, man? You know, I don't think that ever crossed the mind of an Israelite back in them days, man. Because we ain't on a gruesome level like that, man. Esau's just something else, man. But obviously nowadays they're not quite like they used to be, and you know they've improved in some ways. You know, they're like a cleaned up caveman. But let me show you an image I made on AI real quick. Because this is accurate. And like I said, we'll get into this later on. I'll show you how these people are nothing but cleaned up cavemen. Okay. You know, they came from the Caucasus Mountains. I mean, this image seems to appear to look like the Grand Canyon. But, you know, close enough. It's a mountainous region because they came from Petra. Okay. This is their original homelands. You know, everybody was given their portion when the nations were, you know, separated and given their own land and stuff. You know, the Chinese people have China, the Japanese people have Japan, you know, but the Edomites, their original homeland when they became a nation was was Petra, and then we ran them off to the Caucasus Mountains. You know, they've always been the people to dwell in caves and stuff. It provides natural sunlight because they lack melanin, they lack pigmentation in their skin, can't handle the sun like us, man. But this is, you know, what you see here is a caveman in a suit, basically representing Esau today. He's just a cleaned up caveman, right? Let's go to the next image. Here's another one that AI created, which shows you know, you got a dirty, what he would consider a suit back then. That's probably what they wore. But then you see him in underneath, he has a suit as the modern day suit, what they wear today, you know. But hey, look at the face, man. I mean, you got Edomites walking around pretty much looking like that. I mean, they're more cleaned up now. But this is who the cavemen were. There was never ever a so-called black caveman, okay? The cavemen were the Edomites, okay? And the Bible tells us this. We ain't even really got to dig into history like that because it's all controlled by Esau Edom anyway. So he's gonna paint history in the way that it suits him. But the truth be told, these people were the original cavemen. Now let's get out of here real quick. Right, let me bring out another precept to back that up, like I said, right? And this is in the book of Job. We're going to start at verse 1. This is Job 30 and 1. It says, "Now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock." So this is Job talking about the Edomites, okay? This is what this is going into. He's referring to the Edomites in this chapter. Okay. Now, what he's saying here is that he would have disdained to have set with the dogs of his flock. What does the word disdained mean? Let's go into that real quick, just to give you a better understanding. Right. Means to reject or consider something beneath oneself, often accompanied by feeling attempt of scorn. I'm sure there's a better I'm sure there's better examples than that, but basically, right, reject. Okay, that's the key word right there. Okay, so let's go back to the precept. It says, they that are younger than I, speaking about the Edomites, it says, have me in derision, whose fathers, right? Because they originally came from the caves. And this was common knowledge back then before these people rose up into power like they do, man, like they have, and distorted history through the Renaissance era. Renaissance meaning rebirth, meaning when these people rose up into power, they shot the noses off the Sphinx. They went around and you know, committed a process called iconoclasm, which is where they painted over the icons. Okay, painted out the darker figures and darker people to be so-called white people, the people throughout history, like King James, for instance. He was a so-called black man, but they made him out to be a so-called white man, and put a stain on his name to discredit that version of the Bible, which is the closest translation we have to the Greek and Hebrew. Okay, so this is why we only read from the King James version, man, because it's more trusted. Okay, there's a lot of different versions of the Bible which have been distorted and aren't as accurate. You know what I mean? Anyway, so it says, whose fathers, right, the old Edomites, I would have disdained, meaning rejected, to have set with the dogs of my flock, because he knew that these people were so vile that they would have slept with his dog, man. They would have slept with his dogs because they had that reputation back then. There's nothing new under the sun. These people, if you look all over the internet, you see constantly cases of these people getting caught sleeping with their dogs, man, sleeping with different animals. I came across a video one day where this Edomite was talking about how he felt like this dolphin was flirting with him, and he ended up sleeping with this dolphin, man. It's hard to even speak on it. It's so shameful. But hey, this is this the type of things these Edomites do, man. Anyway, let's keep reading, right? Verse 2, it says, yeah, whereto might the strength of their hands profit me, in whom old age was perished. All right, let's jump to verse 3 real quick, because there's a stronger point we want to get to. It says, for want and famine they were solitary, meaning back when they were, cavemen and stuff, right? Fleeing into the wilderness in former time, desolate and waste. So these people were through back in the day, man, before they rose up into power and started stealing people's land through Alexander, what they call Alexander the Great. We like to call Alexander the Freak because he was a homo, right? And a weirdo. It says, for want and famine, meaning they were through. They were in a desolate state, man. These people didn't have, they didn't have a lot of food. They were solitary, right? What does that word mean? Let's pull that up. Let's get into the definition of that real quick. Not solitaire, solitary. Let's just pull it up here. Bear with me, Salakia. Solitary. Come on. All right, the word Galmud rhymes with Talmud. It says hard, barren, harsh, bleak. All right. So they were barren, basically, right? A land of land too poor to produce much vegetation, a place unable to have children, bleak and lifeless. Let's just say they were bleak and lifeless, right? Because like I said earlier, we're the ones that made them great. So they were solitary, bleak and lifeless, right? Fleeing into the wilderness in former time, desolate and waste, pretty much saying the same thing. They were full of want and famine, man, who cut up mallows by the bushes and juniper roots for their meat. So this is what they were primarily feeding on, man, eating. This is how they survived, by mallows uh, and juniper roots. That was their meat. That was what they survived on, because these people, obviously, we know nowadays they don't know how to cook. You know, they 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 talk crap about us putting spices all over our food when that's what good food is. That's what spices were created for. But these people have no imagination. They have no creativity, because so-called black people were the ones that invented most things in this world that they benefit from these days, that made them so-called great, right? It says they were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as after a thief. They cried after them as after a thief. Like if you're chasing a thief, somebody stole from you, you're chasing them. This is how they were chased into the Caucasus Mountains, man. They were driven forth from among men. Who is this talking? Who's Job referring to in these scriptures? Why is this so significant? It's because this is their true history, man. All right. Don't let them fool you. All right. The Bible is the truth, undefeated. And as time goes on, you look at them closely. You look at them after reading the Bible and what the Bible says about them, you see them in a whole nother light. And then you start to see, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, look at them, right? We're going to get into that later on, man, because I got some images I want to show you. It says to dwell in the, so after they were chased from among us, right? It says to dwell in the cliffs of the valleys, in the caves of the earth, in the rock and in the rocks. So they were the original cavemen. Okay. They were chased off into the caves. Job 30:7, among the bushes they brayed, under the nettles they were gathered together. Now, what does it mean when it says under the bushes they brayed? Let's go into that word real quick. Okay. Bray, the loud, harsh cry of a donkey or a mule. So basically, they were making caveman noises, ooga booga, you know what I mean? Hey, man, this is, they didn't speak they didn't speak English, they didn't speak, you know, they didn't speak like normal people, right? They were through, they were in a bad condition, these people, and they're going back to that after after in the kingdom of heaven. These people going back to that, man. So, under the bushes they brayed, meaning they made noises like a donkey or a mule, man. This is how they communicated with each other. This is why you see in their movies about cavemen, they go, oh, oh, ooga booga, oh, oh. That's them, man. That wasn't our history. Mankind didn't come from that. That was them, okay? But obviously they control the narrative, so they're not going to tell you that was them because they're ashamed of that history, man. Okay? So this is, we're bringing it out, man. This is who they are, all right? Under the bushes they brayed. Under the nettles they were gathered together, all right? Job is bringing it out. They were children of fools, right? They still are to this day. Yeah, children of base men, right? What does it mean by base men? What is base? I mean, most people know what that means. Let's go into base definition, right? Base, the bottom part of an object, right? On which it rests, or the lowest part of something, right? So what were they? The basest of men. They were the lowest of men. These people were they never had the reputation that they got in the world today, man. The vilest men are exalted now because the wicked walk on every side. They roam around freely after they then stole their way to the top. Now they're walking around like they're something special, but people are now starting to look at them sideways and realize that these people are not right. They're a problem. They're a big ass problem, man. The world's bully. You know what I mean? They're maniacs. They're homicidal. They're forming white supremacist militias everywhere, all over the earth. Especially, they got them in every state in America because these people are just wicked, man. Okay, that's their nature. It says they were viler than the earth. Okay, so they were like the scum of the earth, basically, right? Is what this scripture is saying. It says, and now am I their song? Yeah, I am their byword. So Job is facing the same things that we're facing today from these people. Now they're above us, and we're just dirty monkeys. When they were the original monkey, okay? we're just dirty black people, We're their song now. We're their byword. They call us all kinds of bywords, don't they? But you Edomites, man, check your history before you go acting so damn proud. Ain't nothing special about you people, man. Right? So anyway, let's go back to a clip or two, because that was that's Monkey Boy here. In the scriptures. The scriptures brought it out, man. Job brought it out. That's these people, man. Okay? The original caveman. Now they just cleaned up. But yeah, they were eating mummies. I mean, what kind of human does that? The vilest of men, the basest of men would do something like that. That is not normal behavior. All right? Check this one out.
Rich Brits used to munch on mummies. That's right. You think British cuisine is bad? Well, since the 12th century, rich British people had been eating Egyptian mummies as medicine. In later centuries, unmummified corpses were passed off as mummy medicine, and eventually, some Europeans no longer even cared whether the bodies they were ingesting had been mummified or not. The eating of Egyptian mummies reached its peak in Europe by the 16th century. Mummies could be found on apothecary shelves in the form of bodies broken into pieces or ground into powder. Now you might be thinking to yourself, that was all in the past, but just last year the ancient Egyptian mummy market was worth a staggering $2.5 billion. So now you know.
Where that mummy gave a thumbs up at the end, man, made me laugh. But yeah, hey, there's still a big market for them mummies today because they're so rare, man. They're so rare because these people were eating them. That's crazy work, man. But let me bring out a quick preset, right? Because you got Edomites that are bringing up their own history, right? The scriptures say is Psalms 64:8. It says, so they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. And this is prophecy, man. And this is what you're witnessing now in this day and age, in these end times. Prophecy coming to pass. So basically, they're bringing it out on TikTok, Instagram, on YouTube. They're digging up their own history and showing you who they were back in them days, or what, who they are to this day, basically, right? Showing you their true nature. So they should make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. Meaning everybody that understands finally sees who the hell these people really are. They're gonna flee away from them, man. They're gonna realize that these people are the scum of the earth, and eventually they're gonna be chased out the world again, man. Okay. I wish I could. I'm gonna have to try and pull that scripture up later, because they're gonna, just as we chase them out into the mountains, eventually they're gonna be chased out of the world. Let me see if I can quickly grab that. Bear with me, Salaki, man. There we go. So Job 18. Let's see if there's any more meat on that. Yeah, let's start up a bit, get it all into context, right? Job 18 and 15, right? We're gonna get to the point. It says, it shall dwell in his tabernacle, because it is none of his. Brimstone shall be scattered upon his habitation. That's when them nukes come down upon his civilization, right? That's that brimstone is talking about, right? And it says his roots shall be dried up beneath, and above shall his branch be cut off, meaning they're getting ready to go into extinction, right? There's going to be none of them left eventually, right? It says his remembrance shall perish from the earth, okay? The problem, the cancer, is getting ready to be cut out, right? So his remembrance shall perish from the earth, extinction. Read Obadiah 1 and 18. Okay. There ain't going to be none left of the nation of Edom. It says, and he shall have no name in the street. I mean, he's not going to be renowned. This man is not going to have no reputation. We're not going to have statues of him in the kingdom as a remembrance of this man. It's going to be like good riddance. The whole world is going to absolutely celebrate the biggest party you've ever seen that happen in this world when this man is finally gone. Okay. It's going to be a holy day, I imagine. Right. Job 18 and 18, he shall be driven from light into darkness and chased out of the world. So this is what's getting ready to happen to these Edomites. And right now you're seeing the Lord starting to stick the knife in slow because everything's falling apart for them. They're catching hell, but it's only going to get worse from here. They're in a desperate attempt to try and make America great again and try and bring back so-called white supremacy because it's fading. It's over for these people, and it's a beautiful time to be alive, especially if you're on the right side of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, who's bringing these plagues upon the wicked, man. Because anybody that's down with them, joining hand in hand with them, you're going to fall with them, man. This is why we got to separate from them, man. Okay? Because the scriptures said, here we go. All that see them shall flee away. So if you're in the right spirit, you realize that, hey, we're not just hate preachers. We're not speaking anything but facts. Okay. When we bring these things out, it might be offensive. You might not want to hear it. Okay. Because you have this freaky obsession, this Stockholm syndrome with this devil. Okay. With these oppressors, but it's the truth. It is what it is, man. It says all that see them for who they are going to flee away. Right. Now, this is the book of Daniel 4 and 17. It says, this matter is by the decree of the watchers and a demand by the word of the holy ones. It says, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. So this is what we bring out constantly, that the Lord is in control of the heart of the king. You know what I mean? The Lord sets up rulers for specific reasons. I mean, anybody that's like Donald Trump, for instance, in office right now, he's in office not because he's a great person and that he's going to make America great again and all this, and that the Lord is dealing with him. It's just to bring about prophecy, man. Okay. He has a particular role that he must play. He's a particular character in the Lord's movie, man. The Lord is running the show, okay? And this is what the scripture is saying. This matter is by the decree of the watchers, right? Which are the Israelites standing on their watch, the watchmen. It says, and a demand by the word of the holy ones, right? It says, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men and giveth it to whomsoever he will, right? So the Lord will set up over, the people, whoever he wants to, right? It says, and set up over it the basest of men. Don't let that go over your head. The people ruling right now, the Bible is calling them the basest of men. And we already went into the definition of base, right? Which means the bottom of something. Okay, so the lowest, the vilest of men are exalted in this world right now. Okay, everything's upside down, everything's backwards, man, and they know it. The elites know it, but they don't care. This is why they don't worship our Lord, because they know the Lord ain't dealing with them. The Lord hates them, as a matter of fact. Let me, I know we constantly bring this out, but let me just quickly grab it real quick. It won't take long. It's Romans chapter 9 and 13, right? It says, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. And why is that? Because, I mean, just look at these people, man. The Lord don't love everybody he created. Just because he created all people does not mean he loves all people, man. Esau is the basis of men. He was created. The scriptures call him the wicked. Read Job 9:24. It says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, right? A lot of us already know that precept, right? But if you jump to the book of if If you jump to the book of Second Ezra's, chapter 6, because this is going to prove my point. And we're going to read from like 54, I believe, on down. It says, Second Ezra 6 and 54, because this proves that the Lord may have created all people, but he don't love all people, okay? The wicked were only created for the day of evil. That's why the Bible calls them the wicked in book of Job 9:24. These people are the wicked, man. And they weren't created to be loved. They were created for the day of evil, which we're living in that day right now, that time period. Okay, it says, and after these, Adam also, who thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all. So everybody knows, we all come from Adam, right? It says, which is a people. It says, and the people also whom thou hast chosen. Okay, so there's a separation there. You have the people from Adam, which are the people of the world, the heathen, and all the other nations, right? It says, and the people whom thou hast chosen, right? The Israelites, which back then they wasn't known as Israelites. They were known as the you had the seed of the wicked, the children of the wicked, the children of the righteous, the children of the children of men, right? So that goes into the heathen, the Edomites, and the Israelites. Okay, I may be slightly off. That's roughly paraphrasing, but that's basically, you had three categories of men back then, right? So this is the people, and the people whom thou hast chosen, that's the Israelites. Let's go a bit further, right? Because I'm kind of rambling. It says, all this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes, right? So the world was created for the Israelites' sakes. But these people have obviously robbed and stolen it, and everything's out of order, right? But the Lord is getting ready to come back and put everything in order, which is going to take a lot of people by surprise, okay? Because most people have been deceived by the deceiver, the devil, right? Which is Esau, Edom, and they think that the people that are actually the seed of the righteous are the scum of the earth because of Esau's propaganda, making us look like the worst thing going, when really we're the ones that, just been destroyed. Our ways have been destroyed by this devil, man. It says, as for the other people, which also come of Adam, right? All these other heathen nation outside of the nation of Israel, it says, thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, meaning spit. That's what the Lord thinks of these other people, man. I bet Pastor Porkchop will never bring this out in the Holy Bible, because it goes against his narrative. He wants his seats full of all races so that he can fatten his pockets, man. Okay, rather than tell you the truth. Okay, but someone's got to be the bad guy, right? Am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth, right? It says, but be like unto spittle. So the people are like spit, right? It says, and has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. So a little drop of water falls from a bucket of water as you're walking with it. You're not really going to give two shits about that little drop, are you, man? And that's the same way the Lord feels about these heathen. They're worthless. Okay, there's many other precepts that back this up too, man. So the Lord don't love everybody, right? So it's no surprise that he hates Esau, because this man is the worst thing this world has ever seen, even though the Lord created him, right? It says, and now, O Lord, behold, these heathen which have ever been reputed as nothing, meaning they've always had a reputation of being nothing, right? Obviously, back in history, that was common knowledge, but nowadays, history's been distorted through what they call the Renaissance era, right? It says, these heathen which have ever been reputed as nothing have begun to be lords over us and to devour us, right? So our people are packed in ghettos. Everything we invent, they steal, they oppress the hell out of us, right? It says, but we thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten, and thy fervent lover, are given into their hands, because the earth was given into the hands of the wicked. The Lord gave us into their hands because of what we did, constantly going off, man. Okay, the Lord chastens those he loves. He loves us. It says, if the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How long shall this endure? So the world was created for us, but we're at the bottom, and the vilest men are exalted, right? The wicked walk on every side when the vilest men are exalted, right? These people are at the top and we're at the bottom. And Ezra's is, saying, how is this? If the world is made for our sakes, because the Lord loves us, it says, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How come we don't have the mansions and we're taking holidays all the time, and we're not in a good condition like these so-called white people, and how long shall this endure? Hey, the Lord about to pull a switcheroo. Okay, let's go back to let's view chapter, right? And let's just quickly prove that, right? In fact, let's jump up a little bit. Let's start at 7. 2 Ezra 6 and 7 in the same chapter, right? It says, then answered I and said, what shall be the part and asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? So when is the end of the world and the beginning of the new earth that's coming, the kingdom of heaven, right? Which is going to be here on earth. It says, and he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, Jacob and Esau were born of him. Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, right? Because Esau came out first and Jacob came out second, but he was holding on to the heel of Esau, which was symbolic. It represented an immediate transition of power from Esau to Jacob, right? Because we're getting ready to rule the earth next. And you can find that story in the book of Genesis, chapter 25, verse 19 on down, right? So verse 9, it says, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Meaning this is the reason why he was holding on to the heel of Esau. Jacob, right, was holding on to the heel of Esau in the book of Genesis 25 and 19 on down, right? Lord willing, I'm not going too fast for you people that may be new to this information, but, hey, check it for yourself. This is the word of the Lord, man. The true words of the Lord, right? This is the true gospel, right? So it says for Esau, which is a so-called white man, the vilest that are exalted in the world right now, it says is the end of the world, meaning they're ruling at the end. That's your Donald Trumps, your Elon Musk's, your Bill Gates, your George Soros, your, the wicked, man, okay? It says, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans that these elites have waged war upon, okay? It's becoming more and more clear now for those that were scoffing back in the day, right? Saying Esau is the Arabs and all that, where are they? Where are they these days? It's because now they're starting to have to reconsider them lies they were teaching, man, and understand who the real prophets were that the Lord was truly dealing with, the ones on the highways and hedges as prophesied, right? It says, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, meaning you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans getting ready to rule the earth next. Anyway, I've gone a little bit off course. Let me quickly check the comment board. All right, cool. Let's just checking. Ain't nobody commented nothing. Anyway, let's go back. I want to show you another clip or two. Then we'll go from there. I'm bringing it out, man.
The most disgusting customs of the Middle Ages. The Queen Isabella of Castile frequently boasted about her status as a warrior queen, often emphasizing her adherence to certain customs. Among these, she proudly proclaimed that she had only taken 2 baths in her entire lifetime, one upon her birth and the other prior to her wedding. Weddings were typically scheduled for June, as May was considered the month when bathing was most frequent. This practice led to the tradition of bridal bouquets intended to mask any potential odors. Additionally, fans were commonly utilized by women to conceal their decaying teeth and to mitigate unpleasant breath. Hair should be as long as possible, and the more oily, the better. Tiaras and hats were also usually used to hide lice and prevent them from falling into food. During this era, the state of one's teeth was indicative of wealth, with rot and yellowness, signifying access to expensive commodities like sugar. Furthermore, there was a belief that excessive washing of a woman's private parts could lead to infertility, so she had to live with that odor.
Wow. It's like that, Esau. That's your history? Boy, I see why you want to hide that. You know what I mean? I would want to hide that too if that was my history. But what can you expect from people that look like this on average? This is the average Edomite right here. Okay. Let me zoom out. Damn, that's too close. Hey, these people, man, take a good look. Okay. That's Esau. Okay, in a nutshell, right? Now, obviously, yeah, he's an older fella, but look at the evil in their eyes, man. Does he look like he would allow you to show up at his door to take his daughter to the prom? Come on, man. He'll chase you off his porch with a damn shotgun. Back in his former life, this was probably one of the grand wizards, man. Or he was probably one of the evilest slave masters, man. Okay, imagine this as your slave master, and he's got total power over you. They don't have cameras, they don't have internet to expose the treatment how he's treating his slaves. Okay, he could just he had free reign over us to do what he wants, man. That's Esau right there. That's the caveman. Okay. Okay, I want you to take a good look at that face. Okay. That's what we're dealing with, okay? That's not the face of a righteous person that the Lord loves. The Lord don't love these people, man. Okay? And the more you simple jakes wake up and realize it, the better, man. You know what I mean? Here's another famous image, right? Get them out of our country. Yeah. Woo! God bless America. Yeah. God. Yo, what's that say? His flag? I didn't even notice that. It said Ku Klux Klan. That's these people, man. I didn't even know that. That's what they want in America. Okay, that's their idea of making America great again. These people taking over and ruling, which they already are. But I mean, they want you brown people out and the whole place full of this bland chicken, no rhythm, stinkiness. Yeah. God. Oh man. Yo, through Esau, man, you're getting exposed. All right. Nothing special about you. Okay. People came from the caves, right? This is an image that this is quite a famous image, right? Please, ancestors, I need your guidance. And that's his ancestors right there looking down upon a ooga booga. That's your guidance. Ooga booga. Under the bushes they braid. Remember what Job said? Ooga booga. Anyway, I found the actual images and I had to, I remade that meme because obviously over time the quality was getting crap. So I had to find the fresh images and boost it a little bit. So hopefully I'll get that circulating again. If anybody wants it, let me know and I'll find a way to send that to you or any other images that I have because I love collecting images that go, hand in hand with this gospel. And right here is their homeland where they came from, the caves of Petra. Okay. I had to use AI to kind of enhance it a little bit, but that is an actual image of where they came from. Petra, okay, and you can see that it's the same architecture as what you see at like the White House in Washington and stuff like that right now with the columns and all that, because this is their style. This is what they do, man. But this is what they spent their time doing whenever they whenever they lived in the caves. They yeah, that's their famous architecture. And let's just back that up real quick. with this image here. Same thing. He's got the columns. That's the mountainous range that they used to live in, Petra. And this is what you see now in, what is it, New York? Okay, Mount Seir, Edom, and New York, right? You got Genesis 36 and 8, Job 30 and 5 through 8, right? Let's quickly turn to Genesis 36 and 8, because I forget what precept that is, and I'm curious. So I just want to quickly grab that. Genesis, what was it, 36 and 8. Oh, okay, yeah. That's the one. It says, thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. So this is where the Edomites used to dwell. Okay. Esau is Edom. Okay. The Edomites. Esau is the name of the first Edomite, right? Which we call them Esau today, just in reference to them being Edomites, right? So thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Okay, this is where they used to dwell. The Bible says it. The Bible is the truth. Do you believe in the Bible or not? Or you know, Bible thumping Christians, Bible belt so-called Christians, you Edomites packed in the church thinking you believe in the Lord. Do you believe in the words of the Lord or not? The Lord is saying that you would a cave people, man. You lived in the caves in Mount Seir. Okay. What else have I got? This is Isaiah 32 and 5. It says the vile person, which we already explained is talking about the Edomite, okay, because the vilest people are exalted in this world right now. So the vile person shall no more be called liberal, right? Because now people are starting to realize who they are. And especially through the Hebrew Israelites, we're bringing out their history and showing you who they are according to the Bible, right? So they're no more called liberal. It says, nor the churl said to be bountiful. Let's go into the meaning of that word churl. Actually, I think I might have. Yeah, let's the churl right here. Let's bring that out real quick. Scoundrel and knave. I don't know what that means, knave. Let me have a quick look at that. A dishonest or unscrupulous man, right? Scoundrel, rogue, villain, rascal, good for nothing. Yo, I'm loving these definitions, man. It's got loads. What? Okay, a wretch, a reprobate, a wrongdoer, evildoer, cheat, swindler, fraudster. Yo, when you listen to these definitions, don't not match this man to a T. You know what I mean? This is the definition. These are the definitions of a churl, man. Okay, what the Bible calls a churl, which is Esau. It says evildoer. Let's go. A fraudster, louse, a rat, got a rat, a scumbag, a wrong'un, a beast, son of a bitch, SOB, meaning the same thing. Shut the hell up, man. A bunch of Edomites outside. A skunk, a rat bag, scrote. Hold on, let me shut this window real quick. Devil's children's running around. Let me see. A scally, a bastard, a dog, a dirty dog, a swine. A lot of these I've never even heard of. A vagabond. Oh, hell yeah. A nasty piece of work. Yo. Oh my god, a bad egg. Yo, I love these definitions, but basically this is the definitions of a churl, okay? So the scriptures say the vile person shall no more be called liberal, right? What's liberal? Let's go into that quick. Let's see if we got some good definitions for that. Stupid keyboard. One sec. Right, liberal definition. Let's see more. Uh hmm. Willing to respect or accept behavior or opinions different from one's own. So, these people are basically not tolerant of other people's cultures. Here we go. This a similar and opposite words, right? Tolerant, unprejudiced, enlightened, open-minded, right? These are examples of being liberal, right? Where was I? Here. So the vile person Esau shall no more be called liberal, because now people are starting to realize that these people are a problem. They're the scum of the earth, right? It says, nor the churl said to be bountiful, right? So the churl is Esau, the wrong un, the son of a bitch, all those definitions we saw. What does it mean to be bountiful? You got one definition, which is large in quantity, right? Which, their numbers are plummeting, but that's not what this is going into. It means generous, giving, kindly, unselfish, lavish. Yeah. Because people are realizing that these people are just scumbags, man. But yeah, so hey, the scripture speaks for itself. When you go into the definition of these words, then it's describing Esau to a T, man. Okay. Okay, this is an image of it's a bit for some reason the quality is not as great as I thought it would be. But this is an image of how the Moors were washing these the Edomites, because they were unhygienic, man. They don't, they're known not to take baths like us, man. They're not as clean as us. We had to teach them how to be sanitary and stuff, man. Let me bring out this quick clip. Hold on one sec.
There was definitely cannibalism happening in the antebellum days. I recommend people checking out this book, The Delectable Negro. I shouldn't have done the chef kiss, but there's a part in the book that talks about the transatlantic slave trade and how white men on the ship would eat the black men on board. They would spend months out at sea, and they would overpack the ship with enslaved people, knowing that they would lose cargo. Food had to be rationed, and sometimes they would get hungry enough to eat their cargo. The rumor of cannibalism was kind of quickly dismissed because America had to keep this image that they were a civilized society with all their guns and colonization. So yeah, white people did eat black people, and they try to hide that part of history, just like they threw our babies to the gators, or they had breeding farms all throughout the South.
I bet you didn't know that. So basically, it wasn't just mummies they were eating, which is disgusting enough in itself. They were eating the enslaved Israelites, man, on them ships. Okay, they were eating us. Okay. Now, a lot of people might think this is false, but you can look it up. We ain't making this up. And that book, the Delectable Negro, yeah, look that up too. I haven't personally read it, but I've heard a lot about it. Okay. let's quickly. I've got a few. Now, I want to point out that how did this comment come back? Get the hell out of here. Anyway, whatever. Right. I want to point out that these two links that I left in the comments in the beginning of this lesson, those are the links to these articles I'm about to bring out to you. Okay. So if you want to look them up yourself, just click on them links that I've left in the comments. All right. But I'm going to go to one of those links real quick. And we're going to read it, right? It says the gruesome history of eating corpses as medicine, because a lot of people don't believe that this was actually happening. They think we're making it up, man. This is well known facts about the Edomite, man. Right. So these books right here, or this book right here, or whatever, right? It says reveal that for several hundred years, peaking the 16th and 17th centuries, many Europeans, including royalty, priests, and scientists, routinely ingested remedies containing human bones, right? And we trust these people, you know, in the medical industry right now over our health, man. These are the same people that tell you to trust the science, man. You know what I mean? And this is their history. This is what they did. And we're supposed to trust people like that? Come on, man. This is why this place has got to go, man. The righteous have to rule, be in rulership, okay? There's no other way to make this place great again, man. It says blood and fat as medicines for everything from headaches to epilepsy. It says there were few vocal opponents of the practice, meaning everyone was in agreement with it, man, through. It says, even though cannibalism in the newly explored Americas was reviled as a mark of savagery, which I don't even know if that actually was happening, okay? I mean, it might have been because there's wickedness of all kinds all over the world. While we're in this flesh, people are going to be plagued by evil spirits, but not on a level that these people do. It says, mummies were stolen from Egyptian tombs and skulls were taken from Irish burial sites. Grave diggers robbed and sold body parts. The question was not, should you eat human flesh, but what sort of human flesh should you eat? Says Sugg. It says, the answer at first was Egyptian mummy, which was crumbled into tinctures to stanch internal bleeding. God. Hold on, where is it? Tinctures. Where was I? Internal bleeding. It says, but other parts of the body soon followed. It says, skull was one common ingredient taken in powdered form to cure head ailments. It says, Thomas Willis, a 17th century pioneer of brain science, brewed a drink for apoplexy or bleeding that mingled powdered human skull and chocolate. Oh my god. That's their cocoa back in the day, man. Some humans, I bet the bits of the grains of human skull sat at the bottom of the cup, and they get that last bit of chocolate, and they swirl it around to mix it up, and then swig it down, man. The dregs of the crushed human skull. These people are something else, man. It says King Charles II of England sipped the king's drops, his personal tincture containing human skull in alcohol. It says even the toupee of moss that grew over a buried skull. God damn, these people are mad. God. It says called unsee. Let me look that up real quick. What the hell is unsee, man? Let's see. Oh my god, they sell it now? What the hell is that? Unsee. Unsee. What's the definition of unsea? Unsea is a genus of fruititious lichens in the large family. Okay, so it's like a plant. It's kind of confusing. Containing human skull and alcohol, even the toupee of moss that grew over the buried skull called unsea. Okay, so the unsea is the moss that grew over the human skull, and they would eat that too. Wow. Okay, I'm understanding now. It says became a prized additive. It's powder believed to cure nosebleeds and possibly epilepsy. Damn. These people, man. It says human fat was used to treat the outside of the body. German doctors, for instance, prescribed bandages soaked in it for wounds. And rubbing fat into the skin was considered a remedy for gout. God, this is gruesome, man. But this is the history of the Edomite. Okay, we gotta trust them with the science today. Okay, when they're putting what is it, horseshoe crab blood and all that in their medicines, man. Come on, they're putting what? They're putting HIV in it. And a lot of people, you know, what I mean, stuck out their arm and said, "Juice me up, man." Trusting in this devil. Okay, when this is this is his true history. Okay, in the medical field, man. Okay, it says blood was procured as fresh as possible. It says while it was still, and the scriptures tell us we're not supposed to consume blood, let alone human blood, because that's where the life is, man. The life is in the blood. It says while it was still thought to contain the vitality of the body, you know, and that's why they do that adrenochrome crap, man, through, you know, because they want to secrete that adrenaline into the blood while it's still fresh, you know, and then extract it, man, so that they can try and stay young and stuff like that, man. Mad scientists. It says this requirement made it challenging to acquire, just like adrenochrome. It says the 16th century German Swiss physician, Para something, whatever the hell his name is, believed blood was good for drinking. See, these devils are off, man. Let's see what the scriptures say, right? Damn it. Right, there's a few scriptures that speak on it. Let's bring out one or two. Right. Even as the Deuteronomy 12 and I'll start at 22. Even as the roebuck and the heart is eaten, so shalt thou eat them. The unclean and the clean shall eat of them alike. It says, only be sure that thou eat not the blood. Right? So we're not allowed to eat blood, let alone human blood. It says, for the blood is the life. See, that's where our life is, in our blood, man. This is why when Cain slew Abel and Abel's blood was on the ground, it cried unto the Lord, man, because the life was in the blood. The blood was crying unto the Lord. It says, for the blood is the life. It says, and thou mayest not eat the life with the flesh. This is why we drain the blood of an animal before we eat it, right? But what did these devils say here? It says the 16th century German Swiss physician, whatever his name is, believed that blood was good for drinking. And one of his followers even suggested taking blood from a living body. Gosh, man, a living human body at that, right? It says, while that doesn't seem to have been common practice, the poor who couldn't always afford the processed compounds, the processed compounds sold in apoth- apothecaries, whatever. It says could gain the benefits of cannibal medicine by standing by at executions. Oh my god! And this is what they were doing when they used to hang Jake. You know, them lynch mobs back in the days in America when they were lynching Jake, man. They used to take pieces of the body parts off the people that they would burn alive at the stake or whatever, you know, or they would hang us or whatever. They would chop body parts off and keep them. Lord knows what they were doing. They were probably making soups out of it, man. You know, it was said that they ate Nat Turner, right? You should all know who Nat Turner is. They actually boiled and ate that man, and that's a fact. We ain't gonna read too much more, okay? But there, you know, I got this. This is facts. This is this is documented history, man. It says paying a small amount for a cup of the still warm blood of the condemned. Ugh. It says the executioner was considered a big healer in Germanic countries. It says he was, quote unquote, it says he was a social leper with almost magical powers. It says for those who preferred their blood cooked, a 1679 recipe from the Franciscan apothecary describes how to make it into marmalade. Oh my god, man. What? Oh. So they would use human blood and make it into marmalade, man. Come on, man. Damn. See, I didn't even know this because I ain't even read this far into this article, man. This is new to me right now. It says rub fat on an ache and it might ease your pain. Push powdered moss up your nose and your nosebleed will stop. It says if you can afford the king's drops, the float of alcohol probably helps you forget you're depressed, at least temporarily. It says, in other words, these medicines have been accidentally helpful. Incidentally helpful, even though they worked by magical thinking. One more clumsy search for answers to the question of how to treat ailments at a time when even the circulation of blood was not yet understood. Damn. So that's Edomite history, man. You know, and this is another one. Obviously, like I said, I've dropped the links to these articles in the description, right? It says in the comment board, it says the gory history of Europe's mummy eating fad, right? And this just goes into more information and detail on it, but you can read it for yourself. They got this stuff called mumia, right? But it's basically saying the same thing. It might just have more details and stuff, but you know, this is them, man. This is the Edomite that is exalted in the world today. You know. So yeah, let me see what else I got. We'll wrap this up, man. I didn't want this to be too long, but right. Right. So this is a clip I came across an image, right? Because right now it's so-called Black History, right? This month, so-called Black History, right? But this is if the reason we ain't got a so-called White History is because this is the type of things that would be brought out, and they know it. People would be bringing out all kinds of stuff. Like our history is how we've been oppressed and mistreated and terrorized by the world's terrorists, the Edomite, right? But on the other hand, if they had their history, this is the type of history you would see. It says Lynchings. It says you could thank whites, which we know to be Edomites, for lynchings, genocide, atomic bomb, poll taxes, redlining, mass incarceration, culture vulturing, patent theft, Tuskegee syphilis study, says loan denials, police brutality, kidnapping, being evil as fuck. It says the need is basically means the need for civil rights, a civil rights movement. It says segregation, ghettos, racist media, racist social media platforms, digital redlining, false crime stats, injustice, motherfucking mass it puts shooterings. Whoever's, I might have to redo this, man. Jake looking simple. Shooterings, basically mass shootings, audacity. Says brought to you by Alabama Folding Chairs Incorporated. Why reach for mace? Give him a chair to the face. Anyway, I found this quite interesting. I found it quite funny. I thought I'd bring this out in the lesson because hey, that's the history. That's the history of the Edomite, right? The caveman, right? Now, I want to close this out. I want to go into a quick article and then show you a few images relating to it, and then we'll close it out, man. Okay? Because yeah, I'm going in. I'm beating a dead horse on this one because Esau needs to be revealed.
5 men and 2 women who were part of a child abuse ring, which a judge said plumbed the depths of human depravity, have been jailed for between 8 and 20 years. The gang were convicted of serious sexual offences against 3 children in a drugs den in Glasgow, where heroin and crack cocaine were regularly used. They will all be monitored for life. And a warning that this report from our Scotland correspondent Peter Smith contains details that you may well find upsetting.
This is thought to be the largest prosecution of a paedophile ring in Scottish history, a gang that organised parties to rape 3 children, all under the age of 13. There are details on how these 7 hurt the children that are too sickening to broadcast. The youngest was still in nappies when it began. The judge gave them effective life sentences today and alluded to the horrors even he was shocked to hear.
This court is used to hearing some of the worst examples of human behaviour, but such depravity as you displayed against young children is beyond my experience.
This abuse went on for 7 years, even after social services became involved to protect the children.
I've spoken with neighbours in this area who don't want to go on camera, but they've told me they saw signs these children were not being well looked after. They would often see the children left outside until very late at night. We also know it was a man in this area who got to know the children and spoke to them, and they told him about the horrors they were experiencing, and he was the one who raised the alarm with police.
That was 3 years after social services became involved, and they somehow failed to pick up on or report the abuse to police. We showed this case to a child protection advocate who says she's seen repeated failures in the system.
One of the details that came out in this case is that the abusers manipulated social workers to make sure they were never left alone with the children.
I think it's mind-boggling hearing that professional social workers would accept a situation where they couldn't speak to a child on their own and ascertain exactly what's happening. This is how the abusers are getting away with it.
That's a clear failure.
A very clear failure.
I asked Scotland's First Minister about the role of social services today.
The very services, the professionals who are meant to be there to protect the most vulnerable children have once again failed to identify and report this kind of sickening abuse.
Where I completely agree with you, that it is essential wherever there's any vulnerability for a child in any circumstances, that we act to address those circumstances.
Are these services understaffed, under-resourced? Would mandatory reporting introduced as legislation in Scotland help protect these children from suffering?
I think there's I would contend that the mandatory obligation to report these.
So, in other words, Esau's social service system is shit, man. Because these devils can't do nothing right. They're the basis of men. Okay, they're not meant to be in positions of rulership, man. The vilest men are exalted. Okay, the Edomite. Okay, now, just like I showed you this image earlier of George Soros, that's a face only a mother could love. All right, I got more for you, man, relating to what you just saw. So these are the people here. Okay. Now take a good look. Don't they look like cavemen and cave women? You know, look how red this one is, man. That's Esau, man. They're different shades of red. Okay. The Bible explains this in the book of Genesis, chapter 25 and verse 25. It says that Esau came out red. Look, that's a white collar. That's white. These people aren't white people. They're different shades of red. Look at him. Look at his skin. He's red. That's the Edomite. Okay. This is a mark that was put on them so we could identify them. Okay. I mean, obviously nowadays you do have certain people that may appear to look like Edomites that are actually Israelites, or could be Moabites, whatever, could be Elamites due to seed mixing, but for the majority, they are what they appear to look like, you know, most of them, man. Okay. And their actions, even if any of them are Jakes, they may as well be Edomites. You know what I mean? These people are through, you know. But this is the face of the caveman, the cave dweller. Okay. Wrong'uns, man. Would you let them set with the dogs of your flock, just like Job said? He said that whose fathers, because they were worse back in the day, whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock. These are the people ruling over us right now, man. This is a big problem. Okay. Now, if we go back, like you can see, like a lot of these mugshots are Edomites. They just, I mean, they're just done for all kinds of crimes. But I mean, take a good look at the faces, man. That's the cave dweller. That's the Edomite right there. Okay. They're the people. They're the people that are exalted among us right now. And then you got, oops, I accidentally closed it out. Damn it. I accidentally closed it out, but I was going to show you images of Jimmy Savile because this man, and we all know what Jimmy Savile did, but this man, Jimmy Savile, man, you take a good look at him and he looks like he'd be cousins to one of these or brothers to one of them. You know, they're Edomites. They just got this look about them. Wrong'uns. Oops, I don't want to do that. Right. Anyway, that concludes our lesson today. All right. Lord willing, you were edified. I just wanted to bring that out because I saw a few of those clips about them eating mummies and eating the slaves, you know, eating our people basically, right? And I thought to myself, you know, this needs to come out. It's supposed to be so-called Black History Month, but we're going to show you the history of the so-called white man and who they are according to the Bible, and that these people came from the damn caves, the Caucasus Mountains, okay? And hence the reason why people call them Caucasians today. Yeah, the water. Yeah, just a little something I planned to do last night, but never worked out. It got too late and I got really tired, weren't in the right mind to do this lesson. But Lord willing, it's been edifying nonetheless. I'm gonna close it out here then. I'm gonna give all honor, praise and glory unto Yahweh Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah, Quadash, Shalom.